And the time now is about 4:50 in the evening. For the latest in Nepal, Kathmandu, we're joined by Steve Clark. Steve, what exactly happened at the bus terminal today?
The terminal, that was an interesting story. I'm actually here beside the bus terminal right now. It's just over there to my left. We got reports emerging about 11 o'clock this morning, our time, that Riot police had been deployed to the bus terminal, and of course everybody started making the usual assumptions about that. We managed to get here about half an hour later to try and verify what was going on, and we spoke to bystanders, we spoke to officials, and finally we managed to get to speak to some of the Riot police as well, who had been deployed, and they told us it was simply just a crowd control thing. The bus terminal is absolutely packed at the moment. You might be able to see the traffic on the road behind me. It's absolutely crazy and has been all day. Lots of people are trying to leave the city. These are not Kathmandu citizens. These are people who live and work in Kathmandu, but they're from somewhere else. At the moment, they don't have work to do because their places of work are closed. And of course they want to go and see their family, so many people are trying to leave the city. The Riot police were simply there for crowd control, and they arrested some of the ticket booth people because they were putting up the prices, jacking up the prices to extortionate amounts. 3 people were actually arrested for this. So that's what happened at the bus terminal today. Just a crowd control issue.
Okay, Steve, you've seen some of the collapsed buildings close up. Tell us about the layout of the city and the buildings with respect to the earthquake.
Okay, well, again, right where we are, this is Gangabu district, and it's one of the hardest hit within Kathmandu. Now, to the left of me, today we saw a small hotel collapse. The reason it collapsed was because the building behind it toppled. It knocked it like that, and the bottom 2 floors concertinaed. There were victims trapped inside. The Nepali Armed Police Force, they were working on the collapsed building for hours. They said after 8 hours they managed to find 2 victims of the collapse, but there was one message of hope today, and they actually managed to rescue a survivor. Someone had survived inside that collapsed hotel from the quake, some 5 days right now. And not just hotels. The quake did not discriminate in the buildings that it brought down. Hotels, people's houses, we've seen a collapsed church, and just over to my right there's a school which collapsed in this very tight alleyway neighborhood and into other buildings. The rescue teams have not even managed to get to that building yet. The smell coming out of that alleyway is very strong, the stench of death.
Okay, many thanks, Steve Clark. Still plenty more work to be done in Kathmandu.